Hey girlies, it is makeup time. If you want to see how I got this pretty blue smoky eye that's perfect for day or night, then please keep on watching. Starting off with primers, I'm going in with the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Water Powder Serum, and I'm applying this over my entire face. After that, I'm going in with the Danessa Myricks Blurring Powder Balm in the shade Universal, and applying this only to my T-zone because that is where I get the oiliest. Then I'm going in with this Milani Conceal and Perfect Blurring Primer, and I'm applying this over my entire face. I know it seems like a lot of primers and stuff, but I'm telling you, this makeup will not move after this. It will not budge. It will not go anywhere. I used this base at a funeral. Makeup was flawless the entire time, and it was raining. So I used MAC Fix Plus in the matte shade because I love to be matte. Once that dried down, I will color correct. I went in with this green color corrector from Maybelline just around the red areas of my face, which is like under my nose and the start of my cheeks. And then a peach color corrector from Elf. I put this on my mommy bags. Once I blend it out, you can't even tell that I even have bags to begin with. Now I'm going to use a very thin layer of translucent setting powder. I'm just using this one from Revlon to set those color correctors. Once that's all set, I'm going in with this Milk Makeup blush in the shade Quirk, and I'm just applying this onto my brow bone and my cheeks just so I can have a little bit of color there. And this will be the first layer of blush. Once that's done, I'm going in with my Tarte Shape Tape around that redness area because this is what I'm going to use to conceal that area. After that, I use the Juvia's Place concealer in the shade 18 to highlight my face, so the bridge of my nose, underneath my eyes, my forehead, and my chin. And then I use the Juvia's Place bronzer in the shade Caramel to bronze up my face, so cheeks, the temples, the forehead, the jawline, and chin area. And I also like to use this down the sides of my nose. I don't contour my nose. I'm literally just putting this down the sides of my nose just so my nose doesn't look so flat after adding in all the rest of the makeup to my face. Once all that's done, I'm going in with this CoverGirl Balm stick. It's a contour stick, and I'm literally just putting this in the hollows of my cheeks, my jawline, and that double chin area, just to make my fat face look a little bit slimmer. And another CoverGirl Balm stick. This one is a blush in the shade Bubblegum Pop, and I'm just mixing this in with my under eye concealer. That way, when I blend it all out, especially after when I add more blush onto my face, it is going to give me the most smoothest, beautiful ombre blended blush under eye area. Like it's going to look amazing. You will see. Using my beauty blender, I'm blending out all of those concealed areas, especially now this blush area. I want it to look smooth, seamless, like no lines, and that's what the beauty blender does for me. See, look at that. You can't even tell where the concealer stops and starts and where the bronzer stops and starts. Now I'm going in with the best part, my favorite part, the blush. This is a Danessa Myricks blush. Look, these product names are so damn long. I don't know the names of all these products. I barely even know the colors of all these products. Everything will be listed in the description bar below, and as well as you see, pictures of them are popping up on the screen. So if you want to know what I got, look in there and figure it out. So the Danessa Myricks I put on the, what, how do you say, maybe like the back parts of my cheeks and my brow bone, and then the CoverGirl one I'm putting on the center part. After that, I went in with a Danessa Myricks highlighter. I put it on the highest part of my cheeks, above my brow bones, cupid's bow, bridge of the nose, all of that. Using the beauty blender, blending out that concealer. No extra product on the sponge, just blending out that concealer and that blush underneath the eye, and making sure there's no creases before I go in with this banana setting powder from Fenty, and just setting it ever so lightly. I'm not baking, I'm just setting that area, making sure that it's no longer wet. Now, I did get heavy hand right here on this chin. I'll blend it out later. It's fine. Once I set the highlighted areas, I'm going to set the bronzer contour areas with the Maybelline Fit Me powder in 360 Mocha. Once I have all of the bronzer and contour areas set, I'm going to start setting my blushes. So the first one I'm going to use is this MAC blush in the shade Burnt Pepper, and I'm using this to set the Danessa Myricks blush. So only on the back parts of my cheeks, temple, and brow bone. Then I'm gonna go in with this ColourPop one, and I'm using this to set the center of my face. So I will be going on over top of the CoverGirl blush, and like I said, I'm using this to set the center of my face and just sweeping it underneath my eye ever so slightly so everything could look smooth and blended. I want that beautiful ombre going light to dark. Now, using this lavender setting powder from Tarte, I'm baking underneath my eyes, bridge of my nose. I feel like this powder here, this purpley color, again, it's going to blend in those pinks even better, and it's also going to brighten underneath my eye and catch the fallout of this eyeshadow that I'm about to put on my face. I'm using Too Faced Shadow Insurance to prime my eye. I hate using concealer as a primer. Going in with Burnt Orange, I'm placing this in my crease and blending it up to my brow bone. Now I'm going in with Chip, and I'm placing this a little bit lower into my crease, blending it up into that burnt orange color. After that, I'm going in with this pretty blue called Twerk, and I'm going to pack this all over my eyelids. Once I get this packed onto my liking, I'm gonna go back into the Modern Renaissance palette and grab this color, Cypress Umber, and I'm going to put this in the outer V of my eye, blending it into that Twerk and into the crease colors. Now I'm going into the Lorac Pros Metal palette, and I'm getting the blue cobalt color, and I'm packing that on top of Twerk, blending it in to the crease and outer V color. Using Primavera to highlight my brow bone and inner corners. Now I'm going back to my face. I'm going to use the MAC Studio Fix foundation powder in the shade C7. They actually don't even make this shade anymore, so when I run out, I'm gonna have to find something else. But I just use it to carve underneath my bronzer and contour because I felt like it was a little too blown out for my liking, so I wanted to sharpen it up just a little bit. And then I'm just going to take this foundation and blend it in everywhere. This is what's going to tone down the blush a little bit, but also melt in all the other colors of my face, just to make everything look seamless and smooth. Like, you're not even going to tell where things stop and start. Like, it's just going to look smooth. Now I'm gonna go into the lower eyes, and I'm just doing the same thing. I'm doing burnt orange back and forth at the lowest point, then going in with a smaller brush. For whatever odd reason, I went into the Mario palette from Anastasia, and I used Violetta instead of Chip. I don't know why I did that. Then I'm just packing the cobalt blue as tight as I can to my waterline, lining my eyes with this liquid eyeliner pen from CoverGirl. It's just a very thin line. I'm not doing a wing or anything. I'm just putting this line so that way when I put on my lashes, you don't see the strip. Spraying the face with Matte Fix Plus, pressing it on in so everything is sealed. Then going in with the Morphe continuous setting spray, spraying the entire face. I'm drenching my face, patting it in, making sure it's sticking to all the products, drying it down with the fan. Now I'm applying my lash glue. I apply it like I do the eyeliner, just do a line, popping on these lashes. These are some little dollar lashes. They're not too big, not too small. They stand out, but they're also natural, and you can still see my hooded eyes through them. Lining the lips with cappuccino liner from NYX. And then the lip gloss I'll be using today, it is a Juvia's Place Coffee Shop Collection lip gloss in the shade Butterscotch. This combo here is so beautiful. I absolutely love this nude combo, and this lip gloss itself, I love it. It's so shiny but not sticky at all. It lasts a minute. I only have to apply it maybe 2 to 3 times throughout the day depending on what I'm doing, but for the most part, love this stuff. Once I'm done with the lips, I'm going in with Tarte Lights Camera Action mascara, going on the bottom to really pull out my little baby lashes at the bottom, and then just blending in the falsies with my real lashes so you can't even tell. And then that's it. Okay, bye.